they finished drawing. But they, we became very close with Marjorie's family at that time, because we did a lot of things together.
Hard times. Yeah, you go over and see if you get a chance fishing, and well, sometimes you wouldn't, because they all had the crew see aboard. But how he got this chance when he was lost was Bill. Bill went over and got a chance with Jimmy, or I don't know his name there, Curry, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And he went over and got it with Lockeport, and then he met Bill. And Bill said to him, Dad, he said, where you going? He said, I'm going down to see if I can get a job fishing, chance fishing. So he said, did you get one? And Bill said, yes. He said, aboard a Curry. And he said, Burns said to him, he said, well, Bill, he said, give me the chance. He said, I got a big family, he said, to feed. He said, and you can go somewhere else, he said, and see if you can get one, because he said, you're only single. And Bill stood a while, and he said, all right, Dad. He said, you can have it. He said, I'll go up, he said, and see if I can get somewhere else. So he was so happy to get that chance to go fishing, because there was nothing else to do, And so Bill got a chance with Murray, McKenzie, yeah. And they come to being lost.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the way it goes. Yeah. When he went that Sunday morning or Saturday morning, I forget now, Sunday morning I believe it was.
Saturday.
Saturday was it?
They left it Saturday.
When he went, he just kissed all the kids and me and said, I'll see you in the wall, and that's the last I seen him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm honored to be here today in front of all of you who have supported and encouraged me in this project, allowing me to commemorate your loved ones. I was 12 when this tragedy happened, and I remember the feeling of a psychological gray fog descending over our town. All around me were friends and classmates whose lives had changed overnight due to a freak winter storm bringing about the loss of their fathers. In retrospect, I think of the bravery and the strength of their mothers, who carried on, in most cases, were young women with large families. In making this memorial art quilt, and with a gathering of oral histories from that time, together with my brother Dan Swim, it is you and this community we honor, as well as the seafaring heritage we come from. I invite you today to learn more about what we are trying to accomplish here. This is a community arts project, and community involvement is important to its success. We hope you'll participate in any way you feel appropriate, whether it is with relevant information about the disaster and the time it happened, volunteering to work with me on the mural itself, putting a few stitches on the logo banner over here, buying space on our split cost fundraiser, or just visiting us frequently throughout the summer. Thank you again for your support. The unveiling of Lost at Sea is to be September 14th at the opening of the South Shore Arts Festival, and it will be on permanent display in this lovely building, the Crescent Beach Center. Thank you. And there are lots of wonderful...
Keep on going.
Oh, maybe if I come out.
No. Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah. Some you can buy.
I can do it. They used to clear the street.
Well, first of all, the border is going to have the portraits of the 17 men going around 3 sides, the top and the 2 sides here. The central image is going to be the 3 boats that were lost. And as you can see, I've start at the first one, which will sit on the horizon here. And then in the background up here, the sky area is going to be stormy winter sea sky, which I'm going to do like a watercolor.
Okay, next, Crystal. So we have to have that finalized, I'd say, by tomorrow,
Okay.
because
I'll
we're
ask
getting
tonight.
close to the day. All right.
I know, I mean, the thing is, I know someone will probably get up and say something, but they're not involved with the committee at all, right? And if you want someone from the committee, I can see the point. Yeah.
I think either the committee or somebody maybe from
Connected.
one of the families, and then they could thank the committee.
For doing it.
Yeah, that's the...
I tell you who would probably do it,
Okay.
and would be Linda's brother, Roger.
Yeah?
Was he the guy that...
The members of the Millennium Project have worked continuously for many months to create this memorial, getting people involved, obtaining funding, and seeking support from many people here this evening. This memorial may have a different meaning for each and every one here tonight. Now that the work is done, members of the committee may wonder if all the work was worth the results. Let's think about it. I drove from Ottawa to be here tonight. My sister Cheryl, she traveled for 3 days to get here from Yellowknife. My sister Mary, she's here from Sarnia, Ontario. Everyone here tonight had to make a special effort to come. And, you know, why is everyone here? It's because this tragic loss of 17 men in March 1961 touched us all deeply. It is important to remember the men and the event that affected so many of our lives. And so, was the Millennium Project worthwhile? I believe that the answer is a very resounding yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me to show our appreciation to all of the people who brought this project to fruition.
Good evening. At this time, I would like a representative from each of the family members to come up and surround the memorial quilt for the unveiling. Okay. The making of this pictorial art quilt and the collecting of the oral histories with my brother Dan over the summer has given me a great deal of pleasure. Not only have I been able to spend time with Dan, but I have been given a chance to deepen relationships with the community I grew up in. Through working on the project here at the center and conducting the interviews with the survivors, a dialogue has opened up in the community that for many of us has shone a light of insight into our shared past. Although the many people who contributed is too long a list to mention here by name, there are a few people who personally made this project what it is. Barb Smith, Crystal Thorburn, and Sarah Sutherland, who worked on the daily administration of the project here at the Beach Center. Betty Williams, who worked with me on the quilt daily all summer long and couldn't be here today. Florence Lloyd and Shirley Allen, who did the hand quilting on the sky section of the quilt. Timothy Gillespie for preparing the portraits for transfer as well as contacting the media about our project. John and Linda Chetwin, who contacted all the families of the men and gathered the precious photos that we've included in the border of the memorial quilt. I would like to also thank our sponsors listed in the program and our contributors listed on our split salt cods. everyone's contribution that was necessary for the completion of the work. This pictorial art quilt, a commemoration to 17 men lost at sea on March 21st, 1961, represents as well all fishermen in this community who lost their lives earning their living at this dangerous occupation. Finally, but certainly not least, the Lost at Sea project recognizes the strength of 16 women, the wives of these seafaring men, who carried on through a time of grief and adversity in their lives. They brought up 65 children without little aid of a social safety net. Widow's allowance was $90 a month, whether you had one child or 12. Not all, but many are here today with their children, even a few with their children's children. These people are a testimony to the strength of their dear mothers. This day honors the widows, their children, the 17 men lost at sea in the storm that broke Lockport's heart. I give you Lost at Sea, the memorial quilt. Would somebody just pull the sheet off first, please?
This song is one that I had written when I was 15 years old. I've been going through some papers, news clippings and things that I had of my mother's, and this was one of the stories that I came across. After I read it, I had automatically thought that there should be a song written about it, and so I did that, and from that time I have changed the song very little. It's not a tribute to all fishermen who were lost at sea. It's a song that was written as a tribute to just this one story, this tragedy of Lockport, and it's titled The Storm That Broke Lockport's Heart. We have no control over the wind and the tide, or what lies behind the waves that we ride. But the story lives on in the hearts and minds. The loved ones in a little town who are all left behind. A small ocean village made its living from the sea, who were so very proud of his small fishing fleet. 3 captains, 2 were brothers, set sail at early dawn, not knowing what lay in waiting were the seas from the storm. On a gray Saturday morning, March 18th of '61, 3 small fishing liners' last trip had begun. A long ways across the Atlantic to Emerald Bank they did sail, only to find waiting them fierce winds from a gale. Captains Lawrence and Mitch Taylor with Captain Curry fishing deep were struck by a terrible storm with no mercy nor no fear, leaving 16 abandoned widows with children numbering 65. And on the sea from the wrecking boats 17 men gave their lives. The tragic story that I speak of now lives on in many hearts, and the storm that tore our little
Lockeport town apart, the feelings and respect that we give to each man